In a quiet town in Wales during the 1970s and 80s, two identical twin sisters, June and Jennifer Gibbons, lived a life so strange, so psychologically disturbing, that their story still haunts psychologists today. From a young age, June and Jennifer were inseparable. Born in 1963 to Caribbean immigrants, they spoke only to each other in a private, invented language. Even among family, they were silent. At school, they were bullied for their silence and race, which deepened their isolation. Eventually, the girls refused to speak to anyone else, not even their parents. They moved in perfect sync, mirrored each other's movements, and communicated in whispers only they understood. Psychologists later called it selective mutism. But what made their case unique was their complete psychological dependence on one another. In their teens, they began writing fiction. Dark, violent stories filled with obsession and death. Later, they engaged in acts of vandalism, arson, and petty crime. In 1981, they were arrested and sentenced to indefinite detention at Broadmoor, a high-security psychiatric hospital, the same place that once held the Yorkshire Ripper. Inside Broadmoor, things deteriorated. Their behavior became erratic. Doctors noticed something chilling. The twins believed one of them had to die for the other to live freely. In 1993, after 11 years in confinement, they were approved for release to a lower security facility. But on the day of the transfer, Jennifer suddenly collapsed. Hours later, she was pronounced dead of acute myocarditis, a sudden inflammation of the heart. She had no history of heart problems, no drugs in her system, and no trauma. June later told doctors that Jennifer had died so she could live. "We had a pact," June said. "One of us had to die, and she chose to go." After Jennifer's death, June's behavior changed dramatically. She began speaking to others, living a relatively normal life, and integrating into society, something she had never done before. The story of June and Jennifer Gibbons isn't just tragic, it's deeply unsettling. It raises terrifying questions about identity, mental illness, and the human mind's dependence on connection. Two sisters locked in their own world, convinced that one had to perish for the other to be free. A bond so strong, it became a prison. A silence so deep, it ended in death.